40 times,
Yeah,
and some other people 400 times. And then you ask this question, the question is redundant.
No, it's not, because that's you have to chas the mayim before the time.
Oh, okay. But you first have to understand. But you first have to understand it.
Okay, I'm definitely ready to continue. It's a pity Ashgacha Pratis that this wasn't recorded. If you have time today, maybe I'll make a separate recording. Okay, today's story. Actually, two stories I had in mind, because we don't learn till Monday. All right, so friends, this wonderful sefer, Oitzer Chassidim, the treasure of Chassidim, is a compilation of stories and so on about the Chassidim, the Mashpiyim in Eretz Yisrael, which the author, Rabbi Ashkenazi, is the son of the previous Rav, that compiled from many Sfarim, many of the memoirs that they wrote. So he just has excerpts of their memoirs, their stories, or stories about them. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. The story I'm going to tell you is related by the fellow on your right, yes? Reb Simcha Gorodetsky. Can you see him? Reb Simcha Gorodetsky actually wrote his memoirs, and I think it's even translated. It's called Yadus Admama. In English, it would be Silent, or the Jews of Silence. He, at the age of 20 already, was appointed by the Frierdiker Rebbe as a shliach. He's one of the great giants of the previous generation. He was arrested numerous times, spent 10 years in Siberia, and continued his work with tremendous mesiras nefesh. He finally got out of Russia in 1964 and settled in Kfar Chabad, was a mashpia there, and also involved in the development of Kfar Chabad. He was a towering, legendary figure, Reb Simcha Gorodetsky. And if his book is translated, it's well worth the read. So friends, I just wanted to share with you the following from his book. He says in 1933, when I was traveling with in the Shlichus, I'm quoting from his book here, which is excerpted in this particular book. When I was traveling on the Shlichus of the Frierdiker Rebbe to raise money for Temchet Mimim. This is 1933, friends. This is the height of persecution under Stalin. And he's gathering money for Temchet Mimim, the underground yeshivas. No comment, no further comment necessary. So he says, I was traveling from city to city and from town to town, and I traveled from Cheshvan to the end of Oder. When I was in Kharkov, so two Chassidim asked me to convey the following to the Rebbe, to the previous Rebbe. One of them was from the venerable aged Chassid Yechiel Menuchin, who said, please convey to the Rebbe as follows. When the Rebbe was in Kharkov, the Frierdiker Rebbe, a year earlier, 1932, the Rebbe had asked me that I should be involved in the preparation of matzahs, which is also all done in secret with great mesiras nefesh before Pesach. He didn't do it. And that's because his son suddenly had died right at that time. So Simcha Gorodetsky says that this chassid, Rabbi Yechiel, asked me to tell the Frierdiker Rebbe, excuse himself and why he didn't do it. And he said he would, because this is what had happened. He lost his son. There was one message. The second message was given by the chassid, Rabbi Yeshua Eliyahu Volosov. This is definitely the grandfather of the Volosov Mishpacha. One of his sons is a shliach in Haifa. Other one in Brazil, my friend. So this Yeshua Eliyahu Volosov, his message was that he put it in a kind of mild, delicate way. Please tell the Rebbe that my livelihood has become very complicated. I don't know the details of what that means. Obviously, it has to do with the authorities, etc. So this is what happens, friends. So I came back to the Rebbe. To give over a report. So I actually came to the Rebbe. It wasn't the time of Yechidus. And nonetheless, the Rebbe wanted to see me right away, and he was by the Rebbe for 4 hours by the Frierdiker Rebbe. And I gave a detailed report about every city and every town, of all that was happening with the Chassidim, what they were all doing, a very detailed report. Who them that I felt were shaykh to be Rabbanim, who could be Shachtim. And the Frierdiker Rebbe is still building and his army, his underground army. He says the Rebbe, when I say Rebbe, I mean the Frierdiker Rebbe. The Rebbe was very involved in every detail of what I said and asked about each one in detail, about their family, wife and children, about the physical state and their ruchnistic state. He wanted also the address of each one and said that we have to be united at least through letter writing. Now, when I came to Kharkov, which is where he got these two messages of these two Chassidim, so I had to give over what they asked me. So I said that Bechia wanted to tell the Rebbe that he wasn't involved in the matzah. It happened, but he wasn't involved in it because, as he promised. I didn't go further, didn't say why, but he just wants to tell the Rebbe he didn't do it. And the Rebbe says, why? I said, I didn't want to say. So I said that because his son was sick. I didn't want to tell the Rebbe that his son had died. And the Frierdiker says, what? And I didn't answer. And then he said, really? So? This is so? Because I didn't answer, he realized what happened. And I could see that his heart broke within him. And the Simcha says the Frierdiker Rebbe started to cry in a way that I had only seen by Tkiyah Shofar. Then the Frierdiker Rebbe took the handkerchief and wiped his holy eyes and his forehead. He said to me, what else do you have to relate? I said, I can't speak anymore. The Frierdiker Rebbe says to Simcha, you're a shliach. You have to tell. So I said that Yeshua Eliyahu is in a very complicated situation. And he says, really? Fadreit, it means complex in it. And again, his eyes flowed with tears and cried, Bekoil. I heard it with a voice, I heard him crying. I saw then that how this affects the Rebbe so much to the inner essence of his heart. And I saw how he cares and it hurts him, everything that happens to a Yid. And the suffering that he feels from everything. I can't describe, says the Simcha, as he's writing this, what I saw in the Rebbe then. I couldn't stand there anymore, and I started to walk out of the room. The Frierdiker Rebbe lifted up his eyes. Again, he took the handkerchief and wiped his eyes and said to me, it's difficult for you to speak. I understand. If you can't, you'll write the rest of it over and give it to me tomorrow. When I exited his room, his heichal, it was already after 1 o'clock at night. And his mother, the Rebbe Soda, was waiting in the room, the Yechidus room. He apparently wasn't in the Yechidus room. And she says, what happened? You were in Yechidus, you were there for 4 hours. And why is your face crestfallen? She asks me. He said, I was so overcome with emotion, I couldn't speak. She motioned me to come inside to the kitchen. She gave me some tea and some cake. And she says, I want to tell you that the Rebbe has not eaten yet today. And she thought that I would go in and out quickly. It wasn't so. I told her what happened. I told her what took so long. I also told her of the regards, the difficult regards that I had to give to the Rebbe without knowing how it would affect the Rebbe. And I regret saying it. Because when they told it to me, they didn't express it with such pain like the Rebbe was experiencing it. The Rebbe Sara responded, she doesn't know what to do. Every time the Rebbe has Yechidus, the floor is soaked with his tears. It's already 5 to 9, but I wanted to end with a kind of more positive story. Yes, We're not, okay, there's another story quickly. This is from a Fola Khan. Yes, we have your permission. Yimiyo. Another story.
Please, Rabbi.
I'm asking Al Chazan.
Sorry. I thought you were asking all of us. Sorry, Rabbi.
I did, now I'm asking the Chazan.
Sorry.
It's good.
No?
It's good. On behalf of all of us.
We're going to get a tailwind during davening. Turbo.
All right.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, this story is related by it's about Rav Khan. This is Rabbi Yoel's father. Here's a picture of him. Rabbi Khan, who was a great chassid and relates as follows. After the Frierdiker Rebbe, it's a story, but it's still in Rashi with the Frierdiker Rebbe. After the Frierdiker Rebbe, this is now 1927, after his release, Yud Beis Tammuz. So for a while, he was in the town of Malchuvka, which is near Moscow. Throughout the month of Elul, he returned to Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, and for Tishrei, many Chassidim came. And they wanted to spend Tishrei because he had to leave Russia. This would be the last Yom Tov for the Chassidim in Russia. At that time, Russia was closed like a cell. This is from 1927. And saying goodbye to the Rebbe was forever. And so it seemed. And we sang then, I don't know what it was. That's when they sang the song, "Der Eibishter wird geben, gesund und leben, weil man sich." They sang that Hashem will give us strength and life, and we will see the Rebbe again. This was our wish, but it was a fantasy. Russia was a sealed fortress. But the Rebbe then said, at the Verbringen of Simchas Torah, here's the quote: "I am only going from one place to another. We have to see each other. We will see each other. Mitzvah Zen, we will see each other. And Hashem will give." He repeated again that in the passage of time we will see each other. Hashem repeated again. Hashem will help. I'm quoting here, and we will see each other with a great good and with a great atzlacha. Those in business and their matters, and balabatim and their matters, and the dwellers of tents and their matters. Everybody will be successful. Will be successful. And he concluded, and when you will do what I as a shliach are telling you, then it will be fulfilled what I'm promising, that we will see each other again soon, B'reif Tova, in great good. Now these holy words of the Rebbe, says Fola Khan, gave us great idut, great encouragement. And the joy of the Chassidim, pierced the heavens. However, there are a number of the senior Chassidim that didn't join in our celebration. And they were afraid that not seeing the Rebbe is, having this fantasy that we're going to be seeing the Rebbe again and not happening will just cause a great disappointment. And God forbid, the results of that. So they decided they're going to do something, a preemptive move. They gathered all of the Chassidim, and they said to them that it's possible that the Frierdiker's words were only, he wished it, and we will see each other, and he meant it beruchnius, but not literal. Just 1 second.
Is that Eliyahu?
So just to include the story, so that's what they said. So they spoke, no one said a word. And all of the excitement just was turned on its head. And the reality of that we're stuck here forever, kind of, we'll never see the Rebbe again, and we're stuck in Russia forever. The Rebbe was expelled from Russia. But then there was a small group of Chassidim, and he was amongst them. And they said like this, give me a moment. We are simple people. We only understand Pshat. They have a promise we will see each other, and these words will be fulfilled literally. So Rabbi, who was amongst those group, concluded, and he said, and the reality is that the end was the Chassidim Chlal did come out, and the Rebbe's promise was realized, even though it seemed a fantasy and impossible, and it was realized, and we were reunited Begashmias. It happened in stages, but ultimately completely. The message of the story is, no matter what, how things appear to our physical eye, the Rebbe's promises, Mashiach is at hand, is real, and we'll all be reunited here Lamata with the Rebbe and all our loved ones. As the Rebbe would say, now mamish.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.